they're going to engage in legal constitutional policing, you have to in fact hold them accountable. Ultimately, if I do hold officers accountable over a period of time, they will buy into what is being done. But there's an approach to that whole process. And so, having been involved in not only Oakland, but I have asked for the Justice Department to come into San Francisco and Salinas and Sacramento and other cities. I've seen how those cities have responded with it. But I'll tell you this: the political leaders of a town, they want this to occur. They want the Justice Department to come in and tell them what is done, what's being done right and what's being done wrong, so that they then will have a basis upon which to hold a police chief accountable. So it's a complex issue, but if you're going to move the cities forward, and when you say cities move forward, you're really trying to protect African Americans because they're the ones who suffer the brutality, or the Hispanics. That if you got to hold the people accountable in order to improve the quality of police and to save lives. Damning part of all this to me is the wrongful stopping, searching, handcuffing, and arrest of people who don't deserve to be arrested because they get placed in the criminal justice system, and then so they have to fight their way out of that. That costs money, and it can affect their careers because once you get arrested for a case, resisting arrest or assault on a police officer, you're not guilty. It will harm your career for a long time to come. So these are critical issues, and unfortunately, it's a major step and policy statement that the Attorney General is making. He's basically telling departments, we're not going to hold you to a higher standard. Whatever you're doing now, we're going to allow you to continue to do that because we don't want you to feel like we're overdoing hurting your morale. It's a wrong-headed approach. Certainly for the African American community, we ought to be concerned about that. Now, I do think this, that local communities that have strong community-based efforts can, in fact, hold the local police accountable, but they just won't be able to do the pattern and practice that you get with consent decrees, which then means it's on an individual basis. And that is a tough way to go. I've been involved in that way for a long time, and that's just one case at a time. It only matters if the department and the leadership will then say, we're going to change this because it's costing us too much money. Or now we have a better getting things changed because of video cameras. That once you can see what is taking place, mayors, police chiefs, police commanders, all can understand that their accountability question is going to be there because of the misconduct that everyone can see. So it's important.
Before we go into this break, a couple of things jumped out at me from what you just so clearly stated. One is the consent decrees and the proper operating procedures and the police officers following those procedures are so important because once an officer engages with a citizen, and as we have seen particularly with citizens of color, the officer rarely then is going to say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I'm gonna uncuff you and let you go about your way.
Right.
And so if the cop comes at me wrong and for a wrong reason, and then I respond with the natural response, man, why are you messing with me?
Right.
Now I have failed the attitude test, and now I'm in for a very long afternoon and or evening. So it's important that police officers in this country understand and follow the fundamental processes and procedures. The other thing I wanted you to just quickly talk about is how long has the Oakland Police Department been under the consent decree, and have you found positive outcomes for their having done so?
Yeah, I've been on this case with the consent decree since 2003.
Okay, so that's 14 years.
Monitors to come in. We've had 6 police chiefs and 4 mayors. But I will say this: within the last couple of years, we have in fact seen changes being made, and part of that is the level of complaints and use of excessive force. They are in fact down. The use of deadly force, that in fact is down. We've had fewer shootings in this period of time. We've also taken into what they call stop data process. That is, every police officer makes a